All right, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm also making Rover 31 at the Xfinity race today at Charlotte. This was decent last night, but the one thing we found out is like tire wear is definitely a thing. There's going to be some fall off here, which is good because hopefully that brings some different strategies and passing and can make more of an exciting race. The only thing that's kind of bad about this is it's a loaded field. There's a bunch of cup drivers in here that could make it interesting. So, and some prices to pay to play them. So, I think like the truck race, well, not like the truck race. So, the truck race, we had like three chalk guys, and I said, build lineups in this quick video I did, like maybe fading one of them. And if you did fade anchor them, but you kept the other two, then you did quite well. So with this one, I think I'm looking at place differential. I'm thinking I'm looking at 1 to 2 dominators, but there could be so many potential dominators of this one. It could be absolutely crazy. And we've seen races before where if there's like 2 or 3 or 4 dominators and they're not necessarily in the optimal lineup and it kind of pulls away from, it's a intermediate track. So it's not like it's a short track where if you have a couple dominators, they just rack up the points with the laps being like so many. There's more laps in the truck race, and there are dominator points definitely be out there. And if there's a single dom, you definitely want them in your lineup. But if there's going to be multiple, which with all the different talents in this loaded field, could make it quite interesting. So, start at the top. Ty Gibbs, he was fastest in practice, fastest in 10 lap average, got the pole. Like this car looked really, really good out there. So I think that I would definitely consider playing Kim from the pole. I think he can get out there in the clean air and the one thing is, as I explain these videos over and over and over again, the guys in green, like the number of their car in green, are guys that are drivers because Haley Deacons feels like guys, drivers, um, are ones that are racing for stage points, are trying to get into the playoffs and things like that. The ones in peach are there just to run the race, just there for trophies. So with them, they can go with different pit strategies. They can do different things to get track position. They don't have to stay out for stage points, and that sometimes can be an advantage for them. But with the tire fall off being like after almost 2 or 3 laps, like they said in practice, you need to get your run your best laps your first few because of fall off. Nobody had like the speeds after that. Maybe that strategy is not going to work here because if you do pit later, like even a few laps, you might, and everybody lines up after that stage for the caution. The cars in the back are going to have faster that did just recently change tires and don't have a couple laps on them might actually be faster, and it could cause chaos and it could cause them to close into the front of the field. That the people that pinned early and stayed out, they might be able to overtake them early on and run. So, like I said, Ty Gibbs, I think is he won here in his pre-rookie year in Xfinity. He's been good. This 20 car has been solid all season. Ryan Truex won in it, and I think a couple other people won in it. So it I really like this team, and I like it over Kurt. Why did I say Kurt? Kyle Busch's team, only simply because this team isn't a team that like exists all the time. The 20 team is there every single week for Xfinity. There's continuity there. There's they know that they're gonna have like a different driver each week, and it's kind of like the all one of the all-star cars. I mean, they kind of have two this year because of the 19's been rotating people too, although Taylor Gray seems to be making a home in that. But anyways, with Gibbs here, he's familiar with the Gibbs system, and I'm not probably some of his cup guys might be helping out here. So many positives there. I think he's a really good one to look at. Kyle, on the other hand, like I think he really wants this. He loves coming and dropping down just to try to get wins, but he didn't really have. I don't even see him on the list, so maybe he didn't like run enough to have a 10 lap average. but he was, I know he was complaining about the car, but he's one like when given practice and they get the car dialed in and things usually work out. Like he lost his mojo in COVID because like used to before that there was sometimes two or three practices for the cup and they used to be able to get everything like dialed in and he was just completely dominant. But this is this is the third team for Childress, and again, maybe it's got some of the resources of World Cup team, and maybe it's not as bad as I think it's going to be. But I don't know. I think he's a potential cash dominator, but he might be more of a GPP play for me. I'm definitely not playing both. I'm going to pick between two of them, and I think I don't know if I'll play any Kyle Busch because I think there's so many other great options out there. Uh, and I think you can put it to bed like what happened last week at with the whole fight and everything after North Wilkesboro. I don't think he's like more driven or focused or anything. He's racing an Xfinity race. He's probably going to be good. Um, and we'll see what happens, but I prefer Gibbs. Chandler Smith, I think, is an upside dominator here too. He was third fastest in 10 lap average. All the Gibbs cars look good. So I think that it's going to be interesting because you're going to have two Toyotas lining up, one and three, and then you're going to have two Childress cars with Jesse Love, the rookie, getting to. I wonder if he's like eyes wide open there with like starstruck there, like with Kyle Busch, like starting like right behind him. So, and Love's been aggressive. So is he going to accidentally wreck Kyle going out there and trying to like push him to try to? I know it's not like a super speedway where there's like a bum drafting, but still like is he going to be trying to get out to the lead there because he's an aggressive guy and likes to try to get to the front? And could he win this? Yes. I mean, could he cause a lot of catastrophe? Yes. So I'm just gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna play any Jesse Love, and that's another reason why I kind of like. It's kind of Bush gonna be a good play here. Jeb Burton, great job qualifying. I just don't see you staying in the top five with all the talent in this field. Fade for me. Cole Custer won this race last year. I think he's an upside dominator here. He had his car looked decent in practice. No, actually, he didn't. He was complaining a lot about it. He said it was a handful. So he was actually 21st in long run speed. So I think he's going to be a GPP for me here. Again, I can't get him and Gibbs. Like I maybe do a three king lineup and try to get three of them up there because there are, and then just maybe play. But I think that's more of a GPP build if I'm trying to get like Gibbs or Bush in another one of these 10K drivers in this range right here in my lineup, and then dropping down for Chase Elliott, who's going to have place differential and probably be a good chunk. So Custer, I like. Creed gives you a little bit of discounted upside dominator. Is in a Gibbs car also, and it looks like they had a lot going on. But I don't see on us. He's 16, so he's just outside the top 15, so it's not that bad. So I think he's in play in GPPs in your pool. Austin Hill 13th, another Childress car. So it looks like all three Childress cars and the Gibbs cars are pretty locked in there. So, maybe you want to build like team stacks if you can, but if you're doing that, you're gonna okay, not too bad because Love is 83. That gives you a little bit of break, and for the Gibbs ones, I mean, Gray's 78 and Creed's 9,000, so you might be able to get there with that. Uh, Allgaier's always run well here, so and he's been good at tire wear tracks, so I actually think I'm going to switch him to be a regular dominator. So I think he's definitely more of a cash play with a little bit of place differential and the fact that he's good at tire wear tracks and being able to get a lot of long run speed out of and conserving his tires. So I'll give him the cash down for that one. Jones GPP, fifth fastest in 10 lap average. So he's decent with player wear, but I just don't see him getting up there and leading with the rest of the guys in the field. So GPP for me, I think he can hang around the top 10. Almendinger, I mean, he loves this track when it's the Roval, but not as good here when it's an oval. So I think a GPP. Retzloff, same thing. I like the price point here. If you can stay in the top 15, 68 should be decent. But I'd rather say $400 and drop down to Matt Deep. And that was not racing for stage points or anything. just right below him. Sam Mayer, I consider putting cash on him here. Eighth fastest in 10 lap average. Obviously, some place differential. If you didn't have so many cup drivers in the field and he wasn't as inconsistent, then I would consider him in cash. But I think the three guys right behind him are much better plays. In Di Benedetto, like I said, not racing for anything 6,400, could probably stay in the top 20. If you lose a couple places of differential points, I think he's still solid. Plenty of experience on this track. Taylor Gray ran well last night on the truck race, and he's run well in this Gibbs car, and they're starting to get some chemistry here. Ninth fastest, I think he could move, at least hold his position or move up at 7,800. I think that's a solid floor play. And Sammy Smith in the JR car here, sixth fastest, should probably move up into at least the top 15. Someplace differential 8K is not bad. Anthony Alfredo, GPP. I mean, he's been solid this season. It would surprise me if he makes up to the top 15 or has an appearance in the top 10 if there's like some wrecks or attrition or some bad tire strategy or pit strategy. No. So that's why I think he has some upside, but I think it's limited. Noah Grayson, I have him as upside dominator. Uh, he was 22nd in 10 lap average. Now he's been good at tire wear tracks and tracks like this, but I'd really like him if he jumped back into like an established team here. This Rhett Jones Racing team is a really good team in ARCA, and they're going to dabble in Xfinity here to maybe be like a feeder up from their ARCA. So this is the first experiment. Gregson's a great driver to come in to try it out for them. And I believe that his crew chief from Cup is consulting with this and kind of helping out with this project. So, but 95 with the other people in the field, I mean, he might be a nice pivot. I put him as a dominator because it wouldn't surprise me just knowing him and his experience in Xfinity and everything if this team is solid enough to be able to get up there. And it's a Stuart Haas preparing car too, so it's not a junker or a clunker or anything like that. It should be decent. It just didn't have the speed in practice. Maybe they figured it all out. Maybe they just didn't want to show their hand. Maybe it's like a Denny Hamlin thing. So we'll see. So he's intriguing to me at 9,500. I'll probably sprinkle him in like a couple lineups, but it's not going to be a cash play for me. Herb's nice place differential here. He's usually decent. Again, he's like you got to knock him down a couple pegs with the cup drivers in the field here. But and he has a lot of bad luck, so he's going to be a GPP play, even though there might be a little bit of place differential there. Garrett Smithley, congratulations on qualifying 20th. I do not see you staying in the top 25, so you're going to be fade. Ryan Sieg should be able to stay in the top 25. It should be a cash play. He was fourth fastest. He looked really good out there in practice. So they had something figured out there. Just didn't have it for qualifying, although a lot of the cars got loose a little bit and they were a handful in qualifying. Two Alpha Prime cars. Usually I'd put them in the fade, but this season Alpha Prime's been solid. But I think they're starting a little bit too far forward to be cash plays. So I'm going to give them a GPP. Clemens and Honeyman always like Clements and Honeyman. We always like these two um, as cash plays when they start around 25th, and that's exactly where they are. So I definitely think that there's upside there. Dean Thompson ran a really good truck race last night. He's in the Sam Hunt car, which has been very solid, 15th in 10 lap average. So I think he's good with fall off. I think he can get at least 5 place differential points here at 5,800. I think he's a solid play in his equipment with his talent and what he's shown and everything, and having some experience on this track in the truck race last night. Weatherman, Klingerman, and Van Ginsberg are not 27th, 28th, and 29th place cars. They should at least move up maybe 5 place differential points here. So take your pick in filling out your cash lineup. I think all of them are solid, whatever range you need. Slingerman is obviously going to be the best one. He's usually up towards top 15, top 10. Van Ginsberg has shown to be a quick study and figured out these tracks pretty fast. And he's had issues here and there, but he's been solid. And then Weatherman is just a guy that's just comes to the race every single week and just delivers solid floor. Not a ton of upside, but the floor is already there for cash. Chase Elliott didn't qualify well here, but it was 11th in 10 lap average. This team again is not one that like races all the time, but it's not like the Kyle Busch team that was just put together, just for this weekend. This one does race a couple times during the season. So, and Chase has more talent than a lot of the guys back here in the field. So, unless he gets wrecked early, he should definitely be able to get up in the top 15 or so. And again, not having to race for stage points could alter pit strategy, tire strategy, and be able to get up there. So I think you um, kind of need to play him down here. You probably wish he was down a little bit further, so there'd be like some safety. If he crashed, he could still lose you. Maybe he could lose 8 place differential points if he finishes last. He'll get 2 for finishing 40 there. So -6 is his the worst case scenario for him. But if he gets like 10, 20 place differential points and the dominators up top, like all like spread out the laps led, or it's one single person and it's like Jesse Love or Chandler Smith or somebody that has low ownership and is cheap and is able to fit in a lineup, then he should be able to pay off his price tag there. Uh Perkins, I think he can play him in cash. He's been solid. Deegan's always a GPP. Like she doesn't necessarily wreck herself, but she seems to find her also. So not having the greatest season. Nothing really sticks out between Cram, Sieg, and Emmerling. I think they're all similar plays, although Sieg is like a little bit better equipment here, and you're paying about 1,300 to 1,500 more over the other two there. Josh Williams had an issue and got loose in qualifying. Was able to save the car and okay. Same thing with like I believe uh, no, Decker was just slow, I think, or maybe she spun out. Yaley definitely spun out. There are a lot of spin outs in qualifying, but nobody hit anything. So Williams should be able to get up through the field. His collie car has not been great, but it hasn't been bad at all. Williams has always been a decent driver. He prefers like more short tracks, but not great on intermediate, but still he's not a 36 place driver. He should be able to at least get 5, maybe 10 place differential points. So I'm gonna give him the prime play there. And then Decker and Yaley, I just think are detrimental, and I don't know if they'll make it through the whole race. So I don't think anybody's a start in part, but I'm just not. I don't think they have a lot of upside. So that's what I got for you. I said it in a truck video. Just want to say thank you to all of those in this Memorial Day weekend that served our country and that fought to keep our freedom and everything that we enjoy. So as you watch the race, I know there's going to be a lot of patriotic things going on, especially in the Cup race with the paint schemes and stuff. So again, just thank you for those of you who are serving in the military, or if your family's serving in the military, or if your loved ones had previously served or had made the ultimate sacrifice for a company, giving up their lives. And hats off to you. Thank you for all of that. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat below. Hit me up at Megaro31 on X/Twitter. If you want more information on FSi DFS, you can get into our our Discord by signing up on our website, and the link is in the description of the video. And it's only $60 on days like this, and we cover NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. We have soccer, we have NASCAR, PGA Showdown, WNBA. There's so many things. So just come on in. It's only $6 for a VIP pass for a day. It's a great way to spend your holiday weekend, and that's what we got for you. So if these are help us back. We're so close to having 4,900 viewers, uh, and then somewhere 102 away from 5K. So some two of you that watch every single week that haven't subscribed, please just do it today. Just get us to the 4,900, and then we can start our ascend up to 5K. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hope you have an amazing Memorial Day weekend. Good luck in your contests, and I'll see you tonight for the Cup video.